the camera's off, Zach.
Zach, you had one job.
It was in a good position. It was on.
I haven't moved.
It's turned off now.
I just turned it back on. Yeah, that's why we have to plug it up.
Probably. Where's the plug port?
Right there.
Yeah. If we have to plug it up, I'm going to have to run an extension, but I charged it.
Yeah, it looks like it's got 3
It should be
lights.
full. Yeah.
Okay, well, I just...
Is it on?
No.
No.
Or is it sure? I think it's trying to detect a signal.
Ah.
Did you guess Hector popped in here?
Yeah, he did, and he popped back out. But Brooke is here.
Hey, Brooke,
Hey, Brooke.
you have it now?
Alright, hang on, let me switch it over. There it comes.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's us.
It is.
Hey, there we are.
I think it's still set pretty good too. See, it's the video viewers that get all this extra material.
Yep.
The audio.
I feel sorry for the video viewers.
I kind of do too.
I really wish they could see this right now.
All right, here we go. Let me bring the volume down here. All right. The CultureSmash Cast, episode 323 for July the 9th, 2014. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of CultureSmash.tv. To the right of me.
Wayne Pitt, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Nice.
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Mike Young, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
I love how I had to look at the script for it.
I was not going to get it wrong this time.
Actually, he was checking his name.
I see. On the sofa?
Kathy
Yeah, it's there.
Holder, contributor to CultureSmash.tv, and allegedly the weather girl now.
Nice. How's the weather?
It's hot. It's real hot.
Last but not least. Well,
Zach
kind of.
Martin, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
What are you looking up?
It's something for a story. Why are you talking?
Oh. Oh.
Oh, I think things just got started.
I think-
Wow.
So
That
he
seems
should
very fast.
really sort of.
If only the viewers can see, the listeners can see that.
We need to film the paper slapping matches between Zach and Catherine.
We should
And
totally
charge a premium for those.
Exactly. We could do the trick, like where you cut him really quick, where you just see him get smacked over and over again like that, really quick.
Yes.
It would be good.
No,
I would even watch
we'll
it.
just
I
do-
would make that my ringtone.
We'll just do a
on the
YouTube
phone.
video of that of Zachity hit for 10 minutes straight.
Good. I think that would
I'm
sell
into
out.
it.
Yeah.
Speaking of YouTube video, Nico and I did something extra this week. If you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah, if you go to CultureSmash.tv, you'll see an unboxing of the brand new Dungeons & Dragons starter set.
Oh, cool.
Came out in select stores last Thursday. Goes wide public release on the 15th of July. So it's not even for sale on Amazon yet, but you can pre-order it for just under $13.
Nice.
I actually got a chance to play with it.
I
this
saw your
weekend.
post. That's what I was going to
It was a lot of fun. It's a very streamlined rule set. The box comes with pre-made characters and rules and an adventure, so you can just pick up and go. If you haven't played in a while or at all, it's probably probably the easiest Dungeons & Dragons I've played that's just easy to understand from the get-go.
See, I like the whole concept of, and have enjoyed playing D&D because you get to just sort of do an interactive story. But the problem for me is time.
Yeah.
I don't have that many hours to commit. So if everything was pre-made, kind of like board game style. Like you had your character and you had this and that and the other, and you could enhance them as you play. Then maybe that would be something I would be interested in.
Yeah, if you're interested in role-playing and coming off of, especially board gaming like that, this is a great set to get. It's cheaper than most board games you'll get.
I don't like coming off of anything. Just saying.
But the retail price is only $20, and like I said, you
That's
can get
cheap
it.
for-
That's cheap for a board game.
Yeah.
And you can get it on Amazon for about $13 right now, pre-order.
Nice.
And yeah, we played the first part of a 3-part adventure, and it ran for about 4.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. The only thing that would make it better is if they had laser guns and space jets. I'm just saying.
Spelljammers, was that it? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Spelljammers.
Exactly.
It would be nice to see a 5th edition version of Spelljammers. That'd be really cool.
Spelljammers hasn't been around since 2nd edition, right?
I'm pretty sure that's right.
That's amazing.
Okay, I actually have a movie thing to talk about, but I want to get to the movie section first. So, Zach, why don't you do the first story for us?
Alright, and a news story that not only confuses me, but makes me really, really angry that I didn't think of this myself. A Columbus, Ohio man asked for just $10 on the popular crowdfunding website Kickstarter so that he might accomplish his dream. Quote, basically, I'm just making potato salad. Zach Danger Brown, the creator of this joke gone viral, said on his page that he plans to have a potato salad party for all his backers willing to fly out to his home.
He's such a nice guy.
A man claiming to be Brown on Reddit expressed gratitude for the outpouring of support to make his dream come true, or whatever. Potato salad seems to unite people of all backgrounds, and I think that it's really wonderful, Reddit user ZT Brown said.
Audio listeners, if you were with us, you could see a giant picture of potato salad right now. Just saying.
Donation prizes
delicious.
include a live stream of the potato salad making and a hat that says, I love potato salad. On his page, Brown said that he hasn't decided what type of potato salad he plans to make. The world now waits with bated breath. Kickstarter donations for the project have now exceeded $42,000 at the time of this reporting,
Good
with
God.
23 days to go.
So let me just say the actual thing that Zach wished he did was that his middle name was Danger.
That's true.
Yeah,
Who doesn't want that for a middle name?
exactly.
I agree.
I would take that middle name.
I wish you.
Why didn't we think of this?
Why didn't we think about making Danger our middle name?
I don't know. We can still do it.
We could go to the courthouse.
I paid for a passport already. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I like Aaron.
Even though it's Aaron.
No, it's not. There's two A's, so it's Aaron.
Okay,
That's
good.
my middle name.
Here we
E in
go.
there.
That's his middle. You have his middle
Oh
name.
my God, that's
You have
terrifying.
his middle name at my birthday.
Oh
You are
God.
doomed to be here.
That's weird.
Nicholas Aaron Falls.
Now, I texted you about this story a couple nights ago going,
I know.
dude, they have over $3,000.
And
What
now
is
it's
this?
on the Huffington Post. This story. It's where this came from.
What is this?
It's amazing.
So I'm really confused, just because I know Kickstarter is supposed to actually curate.
They're supposed to vet these.
Yeah, they're supposed to vet the submissions. How did this get through?
You know how I think I got through? I think somebody saw it there, and the guy was only asking for $10, so they thought it would be funny.
I guess. I mean, the amount had to be part of it. It's like $10 to make potato salad. That's not really a ripoff. That's like the cost to make potato salad.
Yeah,
You're paying a stupid tax and you donate to this.
exactly. And you don't even get the potato salad unless you spend money to fly out there, and it'll probably suck. I'm just saying.
What's potato salad? I mean, no.
No, potato salad is delicious.
Oh,
Yeah, it depends on the kind
It,
of
it
I like
really
pasta
German
salad
potato
better.
salad.
I like
Well, honestly, pasta salad is lighter and better for you. I like pasta salad
It
as well.
really, though, depends on the potato salad. It also
you
depends
can
on the
get-
pasta salad.
You can get potato salad. I like the kind that's herb potato salad. It doesn't even have mayonnaise in it. It's just like
That sounds
tossed
pretty
with
good.
vinaigrette.
Yeah, that is really good.
It's good.
I do like
Yeah.
also mayonnaise as well. I like it light on mustard.
I like it chunky. You know, in the South they cream it a lot. Like you get cream potatoes in it.
Yeah.
Really,
I
because
like
my family, which is very southern, uses just like the chunks. Like we had our 4th of July celebration. My aunt makes like the family potato salad, and it's chunky with like veggies and bacon and stuff, and it's delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Well, bacon makes everything better.
Bacon
It's true.
makes
Bacon does
everything
make
so
everything better.
delicious.
I wonder if there's a stretch goal that adds bacon to the potato salad.
That's a good point.
Currently, the only stretch goal is to, what is it, $3,000.
Yeah.
That was the big stretch goal. So
They're still like what 20 days ago.
23.
They can add more stretch goals.
Yeah. That's
How
just,
high do you think they're gonna get?
I don't know.
estimating
Who would've-
$100,000.
Who would have thought it would?
Seriously, for potato salad?
It's
That's
not going to work
awesome.
anymore. It's
You know,
done. I mean,
it
no one
brings
can
something to
do
mind.
that
I don't want to
again.
get too inside baseball, but can you do a Kickstarter that only runs like 3 months?
No. I think
How do they have to go?
you have to. I think it only runs like a month. Like they always
Oh.
have that set.
So you could do one that's only a month long.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that you.
No,
can
you
do
you
is just
you
a
could
month.
set it. It could be longer than a month, but you could set.
Really?
I think you can.
Well, a month is fine. I'm just.
I think
I have some
unless
ideas.
they changed it, it's usually like only a month because they're like it's not gonna work if you do longer.
Because
It's not
I
gonna
was
work
certain
if you
I
do less.
think that's like the suggested. It's like Kickstarter going.
Why don't you
This
guys
is
arm
the.
wrestle for it?
We should all run. This is like the optimal link.
Actually,
Just
that's much
go
more
on.
entertaining.
Well,
than
because I've
that.
done a
It's true.
Kickstarter, and
Okay.
from what I remember, they
That's-
said it had to be a month.
All right, that could be.
And I could be
could've
wrong, and
sworn-
also too, they could have changed it because
Yeah.
my Kickstarter was 2 years ago, maybe.
I could have sworn I've seen longer linked Kickstarters, but I don't know.
Maybe they changed
I
it
think
too.
that I actually believe they have to have some longer ones depending on the project because there's a lot of films that kickstart on there and they can't do that
Yeah.
one. It's just crazy because we have a Kickstarter that I'm gonna activate early next year.
But anyway, speaking of films,
Yeah. So okay. So we have to before we get into the box office, I have to know what did you guys do for the 4th of July? And there's a point.
1 to 60 days. Sorry.
1 to 60 days. So you can do
Yeah.
2 months.
They recommended 30 days or less.
Okay.
Well, there we go.
It's probably changed.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, 4th of July.
What did you do for
For the actual day, I went to my dad's. We have the big Qualls family thing. He lives out in the kind of boonies, so launch many fireworks that you freaking like.
and you have all your appendages still.
I almost don't.
I told you
this.
to putting the sparklers in your penis.
My cousin launched my cousins launched a bunch of artillery shells, and they were like boom, boom, boom all in the air, except for one decided to blast like 10 to 15 feet in front of me for some unknown reason, and I was like, my pants got scorched.
I would
And-
like to see Nico's reaction to that.
Oh, it was all fetal position in the chair. It was like, oh god! And then
That's awesome.
earlier in the day, we went through the creek, the small little river in my dad's property, just looking for watering holes and what you do in the South. And I jumped off. I was kind of slid. I meant to jump, but I slid off the ledge and just fell into the water and like hit the back of my head into a log. It's good old Southern 4th of July, I thought.
Sounds like it.
Spaced between Twilight Zone marathon on Sci-Fi.
I love that they do that.
Nice.
I have the first 3 seasons of Twilight Zone on Blu-ray, and I will still watch some of that when they do it. Usually at Christmas is when I do it, but when I watch it. But it's just when you're flipping by, it's just hard to not stop.
I got so upset because I got the end of the Shatner episode, the Gremlin on the plane.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
one.
this was the one I'd want to stay and watch the whole thing on.
It's true.
There are several. I feel
You're
like
with
that.
Child. What did you do?
What did we do on the 4th of July?
Oh, congratulations, Dwayne!
Yeah.
Aw.
We ended up going to Kroger parking lot to watch fireworks because we don't want to deal with the crowds going into the actual park in Franklin.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm sure you
we
were
did
the only one.
that, dinner at a barbecue place.
All right.
All right. Mike?
Went up home over to county, saw extended family. Saw what's your cousin's kids? Is that second cousin?
Second
Cousin. Yeah.
It's
That's
not-
when it gets hard to figure out.
It's not like I don't have other second cousins. That my other cousins have had kids.
No,
but-
your cousin's kids are your first cousins once removed.
Oh, okay.
They're,
So,
your children and their
so I
children.
have
Thank you
several
for
first
clear-
cousins once removed. I've got that little handbook that shows everything in it that's got that, but I never could understand the
It all- you just-
consanguinity tables.
You always look for the common where.
Kid is. He's like when they adopted him at birth, but he's like 7 months old. I'm not much for babies. Babies are
Kind
babies.
of the same
Oh,
way.
This is a
I
cute
love-
little baby.
I
When
love
he was
kids,
little,
but babies freak me
he
out.
looked like a little catfish. His face, his mouth.
Yeah.
But
it's
now
my
he's
thing.
he's kind of spilling out a little bit. It's kind of but he's got these huge eyes. He's like an anime character.
Like an
He
alien.
just looks around. It's like everything is just so interesting. He's a cool little kid.
Okay. Oh, good to know. All right, Zach, what did you do?
Well, in the morning, I went and I mowed a lawn,
Nice.
and then I went
You worked.
home and then mowed my lawn,
Nice.
and then I went to work.
Good. That's true. You did. I talked to you.
And that was my entire day.
If I gave you my address and $20,
How big's your lawn?
it's the whole thing is like less than 1/8 of an acre.
It's like the size of my apartment.
You know, I might. Who knows?
So to the real
Might
point,
take that up.
we have been trying to put together some 4th of July something, and never could get it going. And I made a mistake
Oh my
actually
gosh.
because Catherine invited me to go with her and her friend, and I was like, I didn't want to be like the third wheel or whatever. So I was like, you guys go, and we were going to meet up later for the fireworks.
Wait,
Right?
like you and a guy friend or you and a girlfriend?
A
No,
girlfriend.
Jen. You haven't met.
Third wheel.
Yeah, see, again, it's not a third wheel kind
Permissible.
of thing.
Well, for other reasons, I wasn't really feeling like doing anything anyway. But we ended up going to the fireworks later. So, but partway through the afternoon, I needed to charge my iPad, and I had noticed that I rolled over it with a chair and crushed the cable. So I thought, I'm going to hop a bus and run over to Green Hills and buy a cable. The freaking mall was closed. It was the 4th of July. Okay,
The
so
mall was closed?
the mall
That's
was
downright un-American.
yeah, right? So anyway, I'm over there, and I'm like, well, hell, it's the buses were on holiday schedule, so what am I going to do? I'm going to go see Transformers. So, or I was going to go see, actually, Earth to
See,
Echo.
Transformers. Transformers.
Transformers.
On the 4th of July.
Mhm. Actually, I was going to see Earth to Echo, is what I had intended to see. But when I get up to the box office, it's the only thing starting right then. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to go see Transformers. And, of course, it was the 3D one. So I go. But I preface this by one of our marketing partners had sent me a real ticket. So I was going to go for free, or for $1.50. Because it's like the free ones you get, if you're a member. I could only use it with an extra buck. So I paid $1.50 and I go. So keep that in mind. I've only paid $1.50 for this movie. I'm in there, and I've watched all the way down to the last 20 minutes of the movie, and I get a call from Catherine. We're going to come downtown let's go see the fireworks. Where should we meet you? And I looked at my phone, and I looked back up at the screen, because no one was in there but me, so I didn't care. I answered the phone. And I said, okay, I'm on my way. Pick me. I said, fuck it. And I got up and walked out. I didn't even care how the movie ended.
This story deserves that F-bomb.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And I was talking to Zach afterwards, and I realized it has been 25 years since I walked out on the movie.
Wow.
And I did it on the 4th of July for the Transformers. That movie sucks.
Oh, wow.
So bad. If I had gotten to see it in advance and wrote a review, I didn't want to write a review now because it's been out 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It would have gotten a 1 out of 10.
Ouch.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's
Because
way
this
worse
is
than what you had told
Yeah,
me.
because the more I think about it, the more angry I get. Because the one thing I can always say about Michael Bay movies that I've gone to, even if I didn't like the movie,
Right.
I can't say I was bored. I was bored in this movie. Like, you remember how the action sequences toward the end of Man of Steel felt a little bit long? You just sort of zoned out?
Yeah.
That's from 20 minutes in of this movie all the way to when I got up. Like I said, I didn't even care how it ended.
So what was the time mark you got up again?
It was there were maybe 15 to 20 minutes left of the movie.
So it was still over 2 hours.
Yeah, it was over 2 hours. Yeah, I watched most of it.
If he finally makes a boring movie, it's the one that's
Yeah.
just under 3 hours long.
Well, I mean, I think some of the other Star Wars movies were that long, or Transformers movies that long too, weren't they?
No,
Were
they're
you-
all under. They're all around that 2.5.
Yeah. So this one was 15 to 20 minutes
30
long.
minutes, 35 minutes. It was 2 hours 45.
That's
I
too
mean,
long. That's too long for
it's like-
transforming robots.
And it's like the concept, the idea that they had for the story was kind of good. This whole idea, and they actually found a way to make sense of the dinosaurs, but the movie is a disaster. Mark Wahlberg is fine in the movie. He's a good actor. He does a good job. Kelsey Grammer is good, acting wise. It's just he doesn't have very many lines to deliver because it's all focused on.
Well, they were all in the last 15 minutes.
probably.
How about Stanley Tucci?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that's pretty bad for the movie.
It
Big
is.
Stanley Tucci.
It is. And it's like they got the girl from Bates Motel. It's his new Transformers girl.
Oh, yeah.
And she's, pretty much as bad as Megan Fox was in the movie. It's just so boring. I couldn't believe it.
Which I think that's the worst travesties to be boring.
It is.
That's the last
And
thing I really would have expected to.
the-
I expected it to
Some
be
of the
bad,
3D was gorgeous. Some of the 3D it was beautiful. I mean, the imagery was beautiful, but there was no depth to the story, which I expected. But I wanted some at least cartoon depth to invest in, which the better of the Transformers movies at least had that, so you could sort of invest yourself a little bit.
The third.
The third one, yeah, really the only reasonable one.
Here's a question for you. If someone went up to you and said, "Listen, I have a 70mm IMAX presentation of Transformers 4. but it's $5 to enter. Would you do it?
No.
What if it's $2?
No.
My time's worth something. For 2.5
Yeah, I was
hours,
gonna
it's like
say.
at least 50
Yeah, I
bucks
mean,
to play
he's
these
already said he's bored with the movie. And he's
Yeah.
already seen a good bit. So why
Okay,
would he go see
I
it?
would pay the $5.
For the IMAX presentation,
For
I'm
the-
saying, like, because they filmed 93 minutes of it. With
I was
just-
gonna say, but I would pay the $5 to only see the 93 minutes of IMAX time. I don't need to see the story because
What if
it's
you were
non-existent.
required to watch the rest of the movie
I
to
would,
get the
I would
discount?
Next
go
time.
home. I would go home.
Oh, it's $5 a bucket of stale popcorn and 5 ounces of toenails.
If they throw in the popcorn,
The
I'm like,
toenails are pretty
if they
enticing.
threw in the popcorn, I'd probably do it because
Mhm.
popcorn costs more than that anyway.
I can occupy myself with popcorn.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like I could have easily at that point, because it was still really early. I could have said to Catherine, "Okay, cool. I'm sitting in Transformers. I'll hop a bus and meet you guys at the fireworks," and finished it. But instead, I was on the phone. I'm like, "Can you pick me up at the mall?"
It's like, thank God I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. I was like, "Do you mind?" It's like I gotta walk out of this movie. It's awful. And I technically paid $1.50 to see it. And yeah, it's I was floored at how bad the movie is.
What was the last movie you walked out on?
Ford Fairlane.
Yeah.
I remember.
The
I
Adventures
remember hearing
of
that.
Ford.
And I was on the phone with Zach. I said, "You've got to look it up and tell me when Ford Fairlane came out, because that's the last movie I walked out on, and that one was free also."
That was free also, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my follow-up question. Was did you pay for it?
No, Mike and I had a friend who was a manager at the a Regal Cinema or Carmike that would let us come and just watch stuff.
To date, I don't think I've ever walked out of a film.
I've never walked out of a film. I've walked out when a film had technical difficulties and they were going to play it later, but I just couldn't
Sure.
stay.
Right.
But I've never this film was so bad I'm leaving.
Okay, the worst movie up to now that I've seen in the last 5 years, Dreamhouse, I didn't walk out on.
Yeah.
I was in it to the end. This one I walked out on.
So what you're
was fair.
worse than
Dreamhouse
No,
was
that's
only-
wow.
To be fair, Dreamhouse was only 90 minutes or so.
It's true. And Dreamhouse had Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
I will sit still and watch that woman walk back and forth.
Naomi Watts,
it
the
doesn't make
bacon of cinema.
That's right.
That's true. That's
It
the,
just makes everything better.
And she does.
So are they going to put Naomi Watts in
Don't
the
you think
potato
so?
salad if they make this rich goals?
was at the Belcourt watching The Long
You don't think
Goodbye.
so?
I think she's cute, but then again, I'm a chick.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to think who is the bacon. It's not Channing Tatum.
I was going to ask if that's who it was.
I don't know.
Would it be
he's
Kevin
been in
Bacon?
some pretty
Well, that's what the woman knows, isn't it?
awful movies that I'm like, I don't know if I can even sit through this with you. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's probably different for girls because we're not as visually stimulated. We are, but we're
Untrue.
not.
That's why Magic Mike made money.
I said we are, but we aren't.
So we'll just go with Kevin Bacon.
Wait a second.
Kevin Bacon. Yeah.
No.
So it's probably not Ned Beatty.
Huh? Not Ned Beatty. Wait. No. Oh, the dude who was in Magic Mike. He is beautiful.
Matthew
And I
McConaughey?
think, huh?
Matthew McConaughey?
No, not Matthew McConaughey. Who's the one who's in True Blood? Who's the werewolf?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name though.
He's
Yeah.
delicious. And you know what? I will just watch him just stand there.
But see, Naomi Watts, that's a me thing. She's probably not the standard. I like her because she doesn't look like an idiot. Like you look at her eyes, she looks smart, and that appeals to me.
From the chat room, Brooke is asking if I walked out of Battlefield
Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth.
Did she say Babylon
She
Earth?
said Battlestar Earth.
I
Close
stayed
enough.
till the end of Battlefield Earth.
You know what? I think there was a moment when we discussed in walking out of that movie, but really, that's one of those movies like we were talking about earlier. It's so bad.
Mhm.
That's a Travolta masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's
It is
crazy
just-
bad.
But it was bad in such a way, like it's so. I would probably watch it now as a really fun bad movie.
I can watch
Like
it
it's-
again.
Like
I
it's
think.
fun,
Yeah,
but it's
definitely.
bad.
It's not something like Troll 2 that I want to watch often, but I could watch
Yeah.
it every.
But
few years
it's
to
still
remember
just
how
it's
bad
always interesting to watch those bad movies. Even outside of the humor factor, to just realize how the hell they got made in the first place.
The best part of that movie is when the jets that are supposed to be thousands of years old just
Yeah.
start up. Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure there would be no problem whatsoever.
Exactly. Perfect.
I don't know if you read the book, but knowing these people are huge fans of the book, or the people who made it. You know, I don't know if everybody in it was. I don't know. You probably had to be a Scientologist to be in.
Probably.
It is.
John Travolta probably
Maybe.
required it.
But having read the book, I knew knowing these people were huge fans. and seeing what they did to it is kind of hysterical in its own way.
Mhm.
You know, it's like they're almost like shooting themselves in the foot. You know.
Sure.
Devin,
Alright.
have you ever walked out of a movie?
That's a good question.
Fahrenheit 9/11.
That's probably a reasonable thing to
I
walk out.
thought it was absolutely ludicrous. I got really, really angry at it. And because I had seen Bowling for Columbine, and I was like, okay, sure, yeah, I can get behind this. And like, I didn't even walk out of religious. I thought that it was, you know, like a decently well-made documentary. There were some times when I was like, you're kind of old right now. But it, like, Fahrenheit 9/11 was awful. Like, he was just making copious claims, and it just wasn't a
the thing about
movie.
about that movie and the argument that I've always had about him is he doesn't make documentaries, he makes propaganda movies. And that's fine. And that's fine as long as you own it. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but the problem about that is once you start saying I'm making propaganda movies instead of documentaries, then people stop taking you seriously.
Well, I think that's happened to him anyway, in a way now.
I just even if I'd gone in there being like, oh, this is a propaganda movie, it makes me really, really angry because like, okay, anytime that anybody on any like side of the political spectrum, you know, like people who are like, oh, George W. was the Antichrist, Obama was the Antichrist, really, and comparing the both of them to Hitler, like, I'm pretty sure they have an
As soon as you do the comparison to Hitler argument on any side, you've already lost.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what, really? Yeah, so that was the only one that I've ever walked out of.
All right, Zach.
What about you, Zach?
The last movie I walked out on, I'm trying to remember one prior to it, was The Spirit, 2008.
Yeah.
I made it, and I timed it, 43 minutes.
No, I still actually haven't seen that movie.
Later, it was on demand later, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna power through this. We're gonna do it. 43 minutes in.
I have had movies
Failed.
that I've watched on television that I'm like, nope, can't miss it.
I
But I've
don't
never
count that
walked
because
out.
it's easy to flip away
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah, well, and typically you don't pay money for that.
Yeah,
You don't pay
so like
a lot.
Catwoman I had on
This might be
television.
the
I'm like,
ultimate. I hated Transformers Part 2. You know, the little Transformer dude with the gold tooth. I just found the whole thing insulting.
oh, it was. I hated
I
the
stayed till the end of that
second
one.
It's the worst.
Robot balls.
I finished it.
Yeah.
I finished that one. So I guess the difference is that one was so bad it made me angry and I had to stay. This one just insulted me out of its sheer boredom.
But
Yeah,
that's,
like you
that's
said.
at least getting some response out
Yeah,
of you.
Right.
I mean, he may not have been expecting
Some
anger,
response.
but at least it is emotional.
It's
an emotional
better- yeah, it's
response.
better to
It makes
have an
some
emotional
kind of connection.
Boredom is the worst thing a movie could ever do.
In the chat room, you guys, tell us in the chat what movies
I'm
you guys
looking
walked
at
out of, and we'll continue.
But let's get to the top 10 of this week.
Do the box office. Here it is. Number 10, Edge of Tomorrow, made $3.6 million. That one has made $90.8 million so far on a $178 million budget. And finally, Zach went and saw that. Zach, you want to tell us what you thought of Edge of
No,
Tomorrow?
because he left.
Zach's in the pie.
And it-
Oh,
If
oh,
50
see,
cent for-
look, empty sofa.
So actually,
He's yelling from the
He
back.
said,
Actually,
he said he loved it.
what you don't realize right now is Zach is actually telling us his opinion.
It kind of is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I figured he'd like it better than that.
Yeah.
If it stays in the top 10 for 20 more weeks, it might break even.
Well,
it's
it's
made money
made, yeah,
over
it's
it.
broken even. It's just not here.
Yeah. Oh, there.
Ah,
Look,
just
he's
steal
running.
my joke.
Look, you better wash your
Did
hands.
you wash
buddy.
your hands? Go wash your
Hold on.
go.
It's
Oh,
okay.
good God.
Oh!
Anyway,
Did you not wash your hands?
I was wearing out.
Get
That
back
is-
in the bathroom!
Go wash your hands, boy.
Icky, potty hands!
What did you
Did you not go to preschool?
I don't hear any happy birthday in there.
Is that like the time span?
20 seconds.
Best show ever.
I didn't go to
In
preschool.
between.
I didn't go to preschool either,
I went
actually.
to kindergarten. I didn't go to preschool.
Of course, Zach could have simply saved himself by saying, "Look, I know how to not piss on my hands."
He still touched his wing wing.
Okay.
I'm not. What? Stop.
Okay, hold on. Zach, you have 1 minute and go.
For what?
How did you think about the movie?
Edge of Tomorrow. Okay, so Edge of Tomorrow. Went and saw it. I actually had a free ticket, so it was great. 9 out of 10 for me. My only real problem was that the last 5 minutes is confusing as hell. Didn't really understand that. Tried to look it up on IMDb, still didn't find any clear explanation for it. I still thought it was hilarious at times. I wish that I love that how it's a video game, but I wish it did one element of a video game where it has like a master shot and you see like 15 Tom Cruise people die and then one survives coming out of the area. I wish it did that, kind of like Super Meat Boy.
No, it doesn't need that. That's stupid.
I mean, that's a thing. I wish it did.
I don't get the confusion with the ending though.
I didn't
work.
think the last 5 minutes worked either.
Because
honestly.
the thing about the ending is it uses emotional logic, not real
Okay,
logic.
And it used real logic
so-
up to that point.
Yeah.
You mean like
Sci-fi real logic.
the epilogue ending, like the actual like after the last jump ending?
Yes.
Okay, that part I understand. I agree with that.
It
part.
didn't work.
'Cause
I thought you
was-
meant like the climax ending. Like
No.
Okay,
I understood that it was
I agree with this point.
after the boom.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
After the last
what?
one, I got it. I agree.
All right. So what, in your opinion, why have something after the credits? Like, is that supposed to be?
Well, that's not after the credits.
Oh.
It's just.
It was at the end of the film. It's just
I got it.
climax,
Okay.
event, and then basically epilogue.
I think it started out as just like an inside joke, like with the Ferris Bueller thing.
Yeah.
And then that was
Yeah.
so cool, people wanted to emulate it, and
It's really Marvel did it because I mean it was Marvel's originally Iron Man was
they're
kind of the same
ones that
thing.
kind
It's
of
like,
made it where something you had to stick
yeah,
around and see.
like Iron Man 1 was really like only people who were already fans of the material are gonna get it. It was an inside joke.
Now,
Yeah.
But it turned into something like, oh wait, this has to
Well, they
do
use
with
it as a tool.
this had to do with the
like
franchise.
a bunch of the Bond movies after the credits would flash up their Bond will return in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love that.
I still
Well,
love
and then
that.
Kevin Smith did the same for his stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wait, was there something at the end of Edge of Tomorrow?
No,
credits?
there
No,
wasn't.
I
no,
misunderstood what you all had said. About,
Okay,
like,
because I was about to be like, damn it.
I stayed. There
And
wasn't.
of course, it was
I
Hal
stayed
Needham,
also. There wasn't anything.
the guy who directed Smokey and the Bandit and Cannonball Run, who started doing the bloopers during the credits.
Now, see, I think that's a great idea.
I like
Yeah.
bloopers. Bloopers are always fun too.
Except, like, you don't want to do it like after Schindler's List.
Yeah.
You want to pick the right movie to do.
Yeah, that's probably not the movie to do.
I make a snarky joke to that.
I
No.
love it. I love it. All right, so yeah, I was shocked when when Zach called me and we actually agreed on this movie. He actually
I
liked
think
something that was
everybody
good.
was. I have not heard
There's
anybody
no
not like
way
this
to-
movie.
It's a good movie,
It
and
is.
it's a real shame that nobody's seeing it here.
I need to go see it.
You do. It's worth every dollar.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't say that too often. When you
It'll
start,
most likely be at the $2 soon. So.
they really,
But yeah, it
Wait,
was.
what's going on, you
I
guys?
wish we had a 2
Oh, we're trying to add someone to the
class.
We're trying to add Ada on, but I didn't want to
I
interrupt
just sent her a
your
new
conversation.
invite.
Okay.
Yeah, I just sent her a new invite. I texted her. All right, so to continue with the
Number 9.
number 9.
Number 9.
Think like a man
Where did
too.
my?
Is it reversed?
Did it drop up
There
there?
you go.
Wow, it dropped.
Oh, it's reversed. I have it. Yeah.
But
Number Think Like a Man 2. That one made $4.8 million. It's made $57 million on a $24 million budget.
52%
Wow.
drop.
Yeah.
They can
but
afford the
I'm
drop.
surprised that it's still up in the top 10.
Right. look at-
Well,
it still made.
yeah.
It's not going to be there anymore.
It's doubled. It's made more than double its budget.
I think
so-
we're going to consider that one a success.
Exactly. Number 8, Jersey Boys, made $5 million, 36.6 so far, a $40 million budget.
It'll
I'm
probably-
sick of Clint Eastwood directing sucky movies.
It will make
Because
its money back though in a week.
It will. But Clint Eastwood is a good director. What is the movie that we love that he did?
Gran
Oh,
Turismo.
Torino.
Oh well, Gran Torino is great, but I'm
Gran
thinking of the first one that made an impact.
Unforgiven?
Unforgiven.
No.
Play
Million
Misty
Dollar
for
Baby?
me.
No.
Mystic River.
No, never mind.
Oh,
Million Dollar
perfect,
Baby.
perfect,
A Perfect World.
perfect world.
Perfect World.
With Kevin
I saw that movie
Laura Dern.
3 or 4 times in the theater because I went with different people, and I love it.
I was watching that movie with your mom. It's a trip.
Yeah, that's right. We went.
Was it with your mom and your grandma?
Yeah.
Was
Wow.
that before or after High Plains Drifter?
Oh no, this was a more recent movie. It had Laura Dern in it.
This
And,
was 93, 90, maybe
something like it was in the
94.
90s. Yeah, it's so good, and it's another one of those that's really good, and a lot of people don't know it. It's really something to see.
Number 7.
Number 7 is Maleficent. It made another $6 million.
Nathan saw it.
$213.9 million on a $180 million budget. What do you think of it?
Meh.
No, it's my
I'm
opinion.
hearing
Those-
He said the visuals were amazing.
Yeah.
And Angelina Jolie was fantastic. But
Yeah.
he said, growing up with the Disney story, I didn't like that they humanized her so much.
Exactly.
He tried to do the Wicked thing, and it just wasn't everything that he wanted and more. Because that is one thing that Disney does well. Disney has the best villains, and sometimes you don't want them to be humanized.
The problem with the Wicked story, the Wicked comparison though, is Wicked doesn't save her at the end. It's a prequel, so she still like goes evil and does everything that she does in Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Whereas this one does completely revisionist through the actual events of the story, and she gets a happy ending. So it even makes it, yeah, it makes it that much worse, in my opinion.
Well, okay, here's the deal, though. Have you seen the musical Wicked?
No, I haven't seen the musical.
The book is a little different from the actual
I always
musical.
forget that that's a book.
Yeah, the book
I do
was really good. The musical, I do love the musical, but they Disneyfied it because it doesn't change the events. She does get a happy ending.
Really?
Not to,
She doesn't get
I'm
melted
sorry
with
to ruin
water?
it for everybody, huh?
She doesn't get melted with water.
She doesn't melt with water in that.
That's a shame.
that's lame.
I like that
So,
part.
to
That was my
ruin it for
misunderstanding then of it.
everybody, this is what happens. She,
Spoilers.
spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the actual musical, she pretends to be melted, and then, like, she goes in this
What are
trap
you doing?
door, and then,
What?
Low battery.
she's actually,
Oh,
low
low battery on the camera?
for the iPad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We'll just share it.
Well, no. Look, in the bedroom,
Yeah.
by the bed is the cable. Just pull it from the wall, bring it in.
You're letting him in the bedroom.
I know. It's.
But yeah, I was just
I'm
under the
kinda freaked out
misunderstanding.
about
I thought it was
Yeah.
just full prequel. But
No,
I want to see a Gaston.
I'm
movie.
actually
it's
yes.
I want to see a Gaston movie.
Let's see a Gaston
Yeah.
movie, but it's got to be just Gaston. It's got to be no changing it or anything. It just needs to be straight up same Gaston as in Beauty and the Beast.
I'm trying to
Because that's the best character in that whole movie.
I think we go.
What? Nico.
I don't know about that, Nico.
Yeah, I don't know about that
exactly.
either.
Gaston's pretty fantastic.
All right.
Gaston is really
Let's continue. Number 6 was Earth the Echo. It made $8.3 million, $13.5 million so far on a $13 million budget. So it's a even.
Can't believe no more than that saw that perfect movie.
Perfect movie. Well, I tried to see it.
So Mike, how was the movie? You
I
saw it
appreciate it.
obviously, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
obviously.
it was fantastic.
And the
I
honesty.
saw it 3 times.
Well, look at here in a close up. Look, he's honest. Can you
Honest,
not-
honest as the day is long.
Honest Mike.
Yeah, honest Mike. If I could do a quick subtitle, let's put honest Mike. All right, so what's happening?
I said thank you, and he said I'm nice sometimes, and I laughed.
And he lies all the time.
Like Mike is right now.
All
I
right,
am
so,
not lying.
Number 5, How to Train Your Dragon, Part 2.
No, it's just 2. It's just 2.
Part 2.
It's not part 2.
Okay, I see. Either way, it only made $8.9 million. $140 million is made on a $145 million budget. How many weeks?
That's its fourth
four.
week.
And it still hasn't even broke even. Just saying.
I honestly did expect it to get more of a bump this week, just because it's the only kids movie
true.
out right now.
I guess everybody
but-
took
And to be
Yeah.
fair, it is the highest kids movie.
Well, it's easy to be the highest kids movie when you're really the only one.
yeah. So
And
I
guess-
swear, if Planes 2 makes more than this,
Dwayne's gonna be very happy.
Dwayne's gonna be very happy. It's true.
I honestly
my
I
range
think-
will know ending.
I don't think Planes 2 is gonna
I
make a lot
don't
of money
know.
either.
The early buzz is pretty hot
It's
on it.
No,
pretty
it's
hot.
not.
There's a giant stand-up of it in the theater. Just saying.
I do have to agree with Steven though, because when you say How to Train Your Dragon 2, it sounds like it's How to Train Your Cat and How to Train Your Dragon 2. So
How to
yeah,
Train Your Dragon.
we need to put the part 2 in there
Exactly.
for clarification.
Yeah, like you think T-O. Yeah.
Maybe subtitles.
All right, so number 4 is Deliver Us from Evil, made 9.7. It's $15 million total so far. We don't know the budget because they probably don't want to see it. I still kind of want to see it, even though Zach's review, currently live on the website, is not that favorable.
In fact, looking back at it a month later, I would probably go lower.
To be fair, it is that.
We generally,
Yeah.
most of us would
No, but
usually
like,
go lower.
After a month goes by, you look at it and you go, wow, that was really nice on that movie. That was like really nice on that by giving it a 6 out of 10.
I want to see it because of Joel McHale. I think he's funny. Joel
Yeah.
McHale is in it.
Isn't that your bacon? Because didn't you just text me?
Was that the part
that you want to see it now, and it's a horror movie. So
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but his 5 minutes really is blandest. And I'm being honest. He's maybe in it for 5
That's a
minutes.
strange role for him.
Is it?
Yeah.
he has
Wait,
a
am I
strange
thinking about-
career. I don't
am I
understand.
thinking
I don't
about
know. I don't know what he is. I just heard that he's in it.
He's the
and I love
community
Joel
guy,
McHale.
right?
Yeah. He's the
Oh,
star of
that's
Community.
right.
Is essentially
That's right. He is a
candy
community guy.
at best.
Was he the community guy that was in?
He's the star of Community.
Hey,
Or
James
the guys on
James.
top
Yeah.
suit.
Oh, Sue.
Or the
Yeah.
super-
Yeah, that's where he kind of got his break or whatever.
Anyway,
All
number
right,
Okay,
three.
so
never-
to
never
continue,
mind.
number 3 is 22 Jump Street. It made another $9.8 million. $159 million. That one's made on a $50 million budget. Beating
23
How to
Jump
Train
Street.
Your Dragon 2, and it's an R-rated comedy.
Ha
Just saying,
ha.
In 2D.
in 2D.
And on IMAX. What is wrong? I got nothing.
Okay, continue.
I got
Number
nothing.
2 is Tammy. It opened new this week, $21.5 million. It's made $33.3 so far on a $20 million
That's
budget.
where everybody took their kids.
Apparently.
Probably.
It's
Tammy,
outrated
good.
anyway.
I'm sure it's PG.
Yeah.
R.
Is it rated R?
It is
It's at
rated
least
R.
PG.
Yeah, it's-
No, it is 100% rated
It's an R-rated Melissa
Wow.
McCarthy comedy.
Well, that's the only reason I'm happy. Well, I'm happy Transformers is number 1 for snowball reasons, but I'm glad Tammy didn't do better than Transformers. As much as I hate that movie, I can't stand Melissa McCarthy.
Her butt.
And speaking of number
Look,
one,
She's the fat woman. She's a strong fat woman.
Shut up, shut up,
Number
shut up.
one.
I
That's
love
the
her.
joke.
Transformers Age of Extinction made another $37 million. It had a pretty epic drop, 63%. But what matters is it's $175 million as of Monday. It's more than that now. $210 million budget on that one.
I
Aren't
hate you,
these-
America.
Aren't all of these numbers kind of weak, considering it was a holiday weekend? With
It was
three-
a,
I
it was a
agree.
light weekend because there wasn't anything new
Well,
opening.
what opened
Except
this
for
weekend?
Earth
We had
Except for
Tammy.
Deliver Us from Evil and Earth to Echo.
Yeah.
That doesn't really scream
Summer movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Deliver Us from Evil probably would have done better if it held off till February.
and actually,
It came out in
I was kind of
late
wrong.
September, early October.
That would have been better. And I was kind of wrong because Earth to Echo is kind of a family movie.
It
kids
is
movie.
kind of, yeah.
And How to Train Your Dragon 2 still beat it.
Yeah. But it,
honestly,
honestly,
it's opening weekend.
Yeah.
That's
Which just goes to show how weak this weekend was for
Yeah.
the movies.
Earth to Echo, when they very first announced it and I read the description, I thought, well, this could be a cool idea. But as it's been marketed, I totally lost interest. I was going to see it the other day just because I was already at the mall and had nothing to do. But I have not made any plans to go out of my way to see it. Here's a surprise though. It's opening this weekend. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is now at 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That is impressive.
Then there's Rage, it's 11%. I think it's a small movie. That one's kind of made a turnaround for me. Because I thought the marketing was weak on that one too, but the more visuals I see and the more early kind of looks I'm reading, I'm excited for it. I'm
I
gonna go this weekend.
really think everybody should probably go see Dawn of the Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
That's just, yeah.
I
You
really,
do know you're asking for a ball kicking when you do that.
I really think everybody should, even though they can't keep proper aspect ratios between films, but that's okay. It annoys me to death. But, I really think everybody should go.
So
You
anyway,
annoys me to death. You literally give me rage inside of my chest when you start talking about aspect ratios.
It's important.
Well, it would be important to me if it was the same filmmaker from movie to movie. But I think it's the filmmaker's prerogative to shoot the way he wants shot to shoot.
I can't even see it. There's just two different movies. I mean, they're in the same franchise, but it's not like you're going to sit down. I mean, maybe you will, but I mean, it's like you're sitting down and watching them back to back, or you got to go two screens in your A, B, and all. It's going to drive me nuts.
Once it's scope and once it's flat. So it's like, well,
Oh my
consistency.
god.
I just
Consistency.
so let's get to what everybody actually cares about and get to the film ball.
Yeah, let's do it. So we've got this past weekend's film ball numbers. If you don't know about Fantasy Film Ball quickly, it's a simple game that we play and talk a bunch of crap to each other. Each person gets 100 virtual bucks, and over a period of time, 4 months typically, we bid on the movies that we feel are going to make the biggest box office, and then we smack talk each other for every week until then. So here are the numbers. Over this past weekend, there were some changes. in the contributor bracket 1, Bill is still at number 1 with $502 million.
Still the game leader.
Because of Mike. It's Mike's fault. I contend that.
I'll own that.
I stand by it. Number 2, number 2 is, wait, what? Is me. $334 million to me. And number 3 is Dwayne at $206 million. Then there's Nathan at $185 million, and Mike is $148 million.
Ouch.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Transformers, even though you're boring. Contributor bracket 2.
Now it's going to stop making money, just
Yeah.
to spite you.
Hey, I got the first 2 weeks. I'm good. All right, so contributor bracket 2, number 1 in that bracket still is Michelle. She's
Way to
crushing
go,
it.
Michelle.
$432 million is a nice number for her. Second is Oz at $385 million. And then wait, what? What do I hear?
What?
Oh wait,
What?
wait. It's Catherine at $334 million also, because we had the same movies. Yeah.
Those are my only 2 movies.
It's at this point. Oh God, I don't know if you. Well, I was gonna say you could still win it, but.
But Zach has Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
His
what's
balls
that?
are still in jeopardy.
What's that?
He stayed his balls.
I mean, Rise of the Dawn of the Dark Side of the Moon and the Planet of the Apes. Just epically bombs. You know. I guess.
And you know what? I don't think it's gonna epically bomb, but I just don't think it's gonna make it.
I don't think it's going to epically bomb, but I have less and less faith on it the more Zach tries to sell it.
Yeah, as good as the movie is getting
Oh, wait, that
rated,
was-
I almost feel like it could
he's
be in
selling
the
it?
Edge of Tomorrow numbers. You know.
I have a feeling it might do that as well. I mean, it might not. America might surprise me and actually make good decisions, but you just never know. It's probably going to be Transformers. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for dumb America right now to rally behind me and make
go
Transformers
see some
best.
Transformers. I agree.
Yes,
with
and
you.
not Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, even though I will.
Even though Steven gave it a 1 out of 10.
This is why, secretly, this is why I'm not writing a review movie, because I don't need to do anything extra to jeopardize my potential.
Speaking of Zach, by the
wait,
way,
there's-
at
There's Michelle in the chat room. Let me bring her volume.
Okay.
Can we hear you, Michelle, this week? Yeah, we weren't able to hear her last week right at the end when I was...
I'm victorious!
Yes!
Michelle is still
It's
crushing it.
not quite over yet. Remember, Alan did that before, and it
Hey,
screwed
she's
him.
not playing We Are the
It's
Champions.
true, but
True.
I've never come this far.
Yeah, true. She's never played in this far, but she's still in the lead. And unless something happens with Transformers, I think she's going to hold that lead. I'm not sure. I'd have to look back at the spreadsheet to find out who has Planet the. It's Zach.
It's me.
It's Zach. And right now you're at 224, so you're going to have to do $200 million just to catch her with that one. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think
I
it'll
think
make
it'll
that.
lie.
Michelle could win this bracket. It really depends on what Oz has left, because he's the closest one to her right now at 385. You could totally own this game, though, and I would love it. That would be hilarious. Look, and you could see it if
First time!
I love
You
it.
used to spend all your money!
That is awesome. All right, so, Zach, what's going on with your numbers there, buddy?
He's at 224.
Yeah. Actually, wait.
Hector's
Even worse. Let me bring Hector up on screen.
Oh, Hector.
Hector. Tell me what I want to know what happened to Hector, because he usually plays this game very well. He's won sometimes too, and now he
I told you that day I was working and I didn't have time to do any type of scouting on the movies. I'll be back next time. Don't worry.
listen to it. Lots of excuses.
Wait. With that said, I am so happy Michelle Michelle wins this.
Oh, don't you do that! Look, he's
Oh,
so
oh,
nice
oh,
all the
oh.
time.
Hector, we can't be nice. You have to be
Don't
cutthroat.
listen to them, Michelle. I'm proud of you.
In the chat room. Let's look at her
Oh,
bracket.
now it's getting ugly.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's look at her bracket.
let's look at
No,
that.
let's not.
The listeners, currently at number 1 still is Alan.
John.
John is at 391 million. But Alan has slipped up and passed everybody for number 2 at 375 million. I'm disappointed in you, Nico. How did you let that-
I'm working on it.
I was going to say, you better be. So then let's see. Behind him is Nico, 243 million. Then we've got Ada, 226, and Tina at 140. It's so funny. This bracket, this listener group is always the most competitive. Like, their numbers are always the tightest. And I don't know if it's because they play for a month less than the rest of us.
Tina's got more movies in the back end. I've got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I don't know if I have anything after that.
I'd have to look at the spreadsheets too. I'm not feeling
I don't think Alan has anything past that, though.
I think Alan is done after Transformers.
Yeah, I think that's his last one.
Yeah,
so
which
if
is
that's
what
his
pushed
last
him up
one,
there.
I could possibly
still pass him.
overtake that.
Yeah.
If Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I don't think we'll make 2, but it might make 150.
Yeah.
And if I have something else after that, I'll overtake Alan.
I want to know what happened to Ada's numbers. Her plan was too big.
Hey, because I pick the movies that are not going to be coming out. I can guarantee you.
That's true.
Okay? Because this is the second time.
Bets on
She had Jupiter
City,
yeah.
as was Mike. And that was a failure on the play because that movie got pushed all the way to next year.
So, exactly. So I'm basically done after the first month of this. I don't even want to know.
Oh, here we go. All right. So that's the film ball update right now.
Hey, Ada, guess what? Your numbers? You said you didn't want to know. Well, here's your numbers.
We went over the numbers.
We did your
slap
numbers.
him before
but
you ate
I
it?
wanted to tell him again.
Can you
Because
hit him?
didn't want-
Stop it! Stop it! He's a bad dog. I thought we had trained him well, but apparently
Yeah,
not.
he was getting pet treats before because he was behaving.
Apparently that was a mistake.
Yeah, it was.
It really was. It
You gotta-
built your head up too much.
You gotta get the spray ball. The
Yeah.
water spray.
That's
Dude.
totally what I'm gonna do next time.
Yeah, totally. We have to
Put
be
some
super
ghost
soakers if
pepper
we can
in
shoot him
there.
from here.
Oh no.
Yeah. All right, so that's the film ball so far. Nathan has the first story, but he's not with us this week, so who's reading it?
I'll do it.
All right, Catherine's going to read the first story.
A sequel to last summer's hit horror movie, The Conjuring, was already in the works before the first movie was officially released. But until that follow-up arrives, New Line has a little surprise for fans. The company has announced an official release date for a spin-off to The Conjuring, which will be titled Annabelle. The movie will arrive in theaters this Halloween season on October the 3rd. Those familiar with the first movie will recognize the name used for the title. Annabelle was the name of a creepy doll that was one of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren's demonic items. The Warrens were played by Patrick Wilson and Vera
Farmiga?
Thank you.
Farmiga, yeah.
Annabelle will star Annabelle Wallace, Ward Horton, and Alfred Woodard. It's written by Gary Dauberman and is set to be directed by John Leonotti.
That sounds good.
Sure. Who was the cinematographer on The Conjuring. That's exciting.
It is exciting. I loved The Conjuring, and I love the idea. I think there's great potential for a sequel if they do it well. This spin-off, I
think I'm okay with it.
I would see
It's a
it.
great idea.
Yeah.
I would go see
Yeah,
it.
that's a creepy freaking doll.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it
Have
was.
you ever seen the picture of the real doll?
Yeah.
The old doll's even
It's a
worse.
Raggedy Ann.
It is.
I know.
It's a Raggedy Ann
I'm
doll.
serious.
It's
I think
crazy.
that makes it worse.
It does
It
make
does make it worse.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the more familiar and cute the thing is,
Well,
the
but
creepier it
yeah,
end up
because the
being.
movie one looks creepy, whereas
Yeah.
the Raggedy Ann one is just a Raggedy Ann, and just that inherent familiarness makes it eerie.
It's
Yeah.
true. I agree. So anyway, I'm excited. I'll see this.
You know what? I will actually see this because
But what I want to
Conjuring
know
was so great.
is, will you see it sober?
No,
I know it.
I need to see it with drinks and with an arm to hold on to.
With
This
a
is
giant container of popcorn to crush.
And a giant I need something to like hold on to and crush. Whether it's like a big bowl of popcorn or like a stuffed animal
Got
or
it.
like somebody's arm.
I know exactly what it would be.
What?
Yeah.
A Raggedy Ann doll.
I'll bring my cricket doll in.
I don't know if you know this, but every seat comes with an arm rest. You could just hold on to that.
That's
No, that's
so
uncomfortable.
lame.
that is lame.
There's
That's
something to hold on to.
That-
You
Leave
never
it.
said it had
No.
to be comfortable.
Catherine.
Does anybody have any snap pops left over from the fourth?
I love those snap pops.
Oh, they're great.
All right. So the next one.
I've never done that, but
With Transformers Age of Extinction making a mint at the box office over the last 10 days, talk has inevitably turned to where the franchise will go next. And producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura has
Yes!
hinted that a
nailed
crossover
it.
with the G.I. Joe movies might have one day happen. I think later on that's a possibility, but I don't think it's in the near future.
Oh, hold on.
So-
I want to interrupt here. What's your problem with that? You don't like either franchise. What's the problem with them teaming up?
It's true.
It's
You
possible
don't-
someone might find some joy from it.
Oh,
You know what?
God
You know,
forbid that.
It's not that. You get one STD. You don't want to mix other STDs.
Okay, this goes
What just
to
happened to Catherine?
You
okay.
don't put two STDs together and go, that'll be great.
This
Hell,
is,
you might cancel each
but
other
Zach,
out.
this is the problem that we have, and we've discussed this before. It doesn't affect you whether or not they make a crossover movie, but your comparison is to contracting an STD, which does affect you. You have got to separate
I've got
yourself from things you don't like.
It's like all the diseases that Burns has in The Simpsons. It's like
Trying to get
they're all trying to get in, but they can't get in, so he's basically invincible. So it'd
He's
be a
in
great movie.
stasis.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love it.
So just chill on that.
Yeah, just
I'm
chill.
worried about the American public getting
Stop,
coffee.
stop.
You are going
Stop,
to have
stop.
a stroke by the time you're 40.
He totally is.
I actually,
My parents tell me the same.
I think if they could do it right, and there obviously need to be massive changes on the creative sides behind the camera to
Yeah.
make it right. But if it's just a fun G.I. Joe versus Transformers movie, I think that could be good.
I
Would
don't.
it be
As long
a
as it's not
versus or more
I
of a team up?
overall,
both, it really kind
I'm
of.
overall meh on the G.I. Joe franchise. I mean, it's not like I hate it, but I don't love it. And I'm to the point of I really hate you, Transformers. So, but crossing the two makes me kind of
Honestly,
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
like-
get any worse.
it's true.
It
Exactly.
really-
Like the last Transformers movie, my main problem with this is it didn't feel done. It felt like the script needed like 2 more passes on it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it had good aspects. And I like The Rock being in it. I think The Rock, if he continues that
Oh,
character, will
you're
be
not
really
actually
good.
G.I. Joe's.
Yeah.
But
G.I. Joe, I mean, Transformers, I think the third one was good. I haven't seen the fourth one yet.
The third
I'm not
one was pretty
intending
good.
to anytime
Yeah,
soon.
I wouldn't. Don't.
They'll have to come up with a reason to make this work, because otherwise, well, why hasn't? I mean, Transformers are a global threat. Why hasn't Joe already shown up on the scene to take care
Well,
of
it's
this?
another one of those tricks. I mean, obviously they could do a
Reboot.
whole
Reboot the
timeline
franchise.
thing.
Timeline.
Especially if Transformers is as bad as it is, it could probably suffer for a reboot.
It's
Oh
awful.
gosh, we could have The Rock screaming, "I don't want your future." Completely into that.
I am in. If he would do that, I will buy my ticket right now.
And you know, the last major franchise cross I can think of is Freddy versus Jason,
And it
that-
was
that
phenomenal.
came
fun,
off
yeah.
really well. And
Love
that could
that
have been
movie.
a disaster.
It could have been.
Yeah, very much.
So yeah.
Well,
why not?
there's
Why not?
also
Why
been
the hell
Aliens
not?
versus Predators, but
Oh, that's true.
That one kind of was a disaster.
the first one was alright.
It was alright.
Okay. Yeah, not
That
really.
second one was an abomination.
Yeah, and well, I mean, they all
Would-
all run together. as
but
an
would you
abomination,
say-
because that Requiem thing was?
Yeah,
terrible.
would you say it's worse though than Aliens 4?
Yes,
Was it worse
Really?
than Alien 3?
Alien 4 is awful.
but Joss
Alien
Whedon
3
wrote it, and it had a few little bits of clever dialogue that made it
Wait, was Alien 4 the one with the Topher Grace?
one on a writer.
One of the, okay,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah,
If at some moment we all think, you know what, it's time to bring the two of them together, we'll do that. But I don't think they're strong enough to exist on their own.
By the way, he was finishing the quote.
yeah.
Wait, he's saying
Before he was so
the franchise
quickly
aren't strong
interrupted.
enough to exist on their
No,
own?
No, I think he misread it. Yeah,
Wait,
they
but
are.
But I think, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I had to read
It was a Freudian slip. I don't
Oh,
think they're strong
okay.
enough.
Well, that's the. You don't do crossovers because you think the two franchises aren't strong enough to stand on their own. Marvel has proven that's exactly wrong.
DC certainly does.
Well, Marvel has taken maybe an action that they may have done in the past and said, no, let's combine two really strong franchises and make one super franchise.
Which is what happened, and that's why the
Super.
Avengers made gangbusters.
$1 billion.
Of course, I can't really say super talking about Marvel. That's the
Yeah, you can. You can still say
You can
super.
still
They're
say
superheroes.
They have a
DC does not have super trademarked.
I thought they did.
DC does not.
No.
I thought I had to.
They
Every
did it
time I
one
wrote
time.
super, I had to put a little team in.
DC and Marvel jointly held the trademark
For superheroes.
superpowers.
Superhero.
Okay.
I think it's superhero.
Oh, just not. I see what you're saying. Just not the word.
That's what the
Yeah.
Lance Armstrong lawsuit was about. Then the whole
About being super.
steroids thing came out and he dropped it.
Yeah. I would
Anyway.
too. Yeah, would have done that too. All right. Who's next?
You.
Is it me? Oh, I get to read something.
Gotta say
Yay
this
for
money.
me. small bits of information about Star Wars Episode 7 continue
It's just a
to
chair.
leak out, including casting announcements and even a possible push of the release date due to Harrison Ford's injury. On a side note, there was another article talking about changing the story to maybe back his part off a little bit so they could continue, and the word from Abrams was basically, hell no, we'll wait if we have to, which I think is awesome.
Well, I also read an article where Abrams went up to the CEO and said, we need to push this release date, and they refused.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, the Bad Robot Twitter feed gave us something new this week to be excited about. A picture of one of the new IMAX large format cameras being used to shoot some desert footage. The pic was posted with the hashtag best format ever. So we are getting some Star Wars in IMAX.
And I'm 100% confirmed spending $18 on my first showing at midnight.
Agreed. Because
It won't be at midnight. It'll be like
you
at
know
8.
what's funny is J.J. Abrams. This is the thing he's clever about. I mean, they call it it's sort of in his marketing term is magic box.
Mystery box.
Mystery box, yeah, because he lets things out in a very precise way, but you don't always know. Like the first thing that we got film related to the movie was we're shooting quote some of it in 35 millimeter. Well, my question now is now do we know what the rest of it's being shot in?
Probably.
You know?
Ooh, I
Is
didn't
that
think about that.
Yeah, that was the first film related thing because it was a big deal because everybody else is shooting in digital. Lucas shot the prequels digital, but
Like he pioneered the digital camera. Lucas did.
yeah. So
And Lucas is just pissed off now.
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
I honestly don't think.
Lucas is probably dressed like Luke Skywalker rolling in his millions. He doesn't care.
No, his billions.
His billions, yeah.
Yes.
But it just gets me to think about a lightsaber battle in IMAX.
It will be
I'm
really.
I'm just shoving money at the screen and nothing is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't even tell you.
I
You're
think
gonna make it rain on the screen.
No,
Would
I'm
it be
just
better than?
that makes my inner nerd, childlike wonder just go like.
Yeah,
that
I was like,
that was-
make it rain on the
I
screen.
remember
Where you're
that's
just
how
gonna,
I was back before the prequels came out.
Yeah.
What prequels?
I remember being that enthusiastic.
I am really excited because of that, and because of Abrams' commitment to not change anything because of Harrison's
He's
his
sticking
disability.
with
I'm
it.
kind of like that because I would hate to think that the story is so shallow that it's just like, I don't,
we'll just cut it out.
let's just do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and it tells you Lucas is not involved. Because Lucas would have had somebody else do
The
do
body parts and
body
dub his
part and
head
just
in
dubbed his head
Yeah,
in
pretty
digitally, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in post.
I think it would be really cool if they just ended up
Faster,
having
better.
him. He has a war injury and he's walking with a limp and has a cast on his leg.
That
or
would
something.
be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would do. I was like,
Now,
all right, Harrison, you got to wear a
now,
cast. You're doing in the
ultimately,
shoot.
What would crack me up, though, and be very disruptive to the film for me, is if the first third of the movie, Harrison Ford is sitting in every scene.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Okay, is this what we're doing? Anyway.
So is anybody not going to see this in IMAX?
Not anymore.
Not after hearing what you're going to do to the screen.
Actually, yeah, I might. I'm gonna go see it in a different IMAX.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
never know what else he's gonna be doing if he's gonna be.
I'm gonna go in a showing
I
either.
look.
I'm gonna go to a showing
I'd
after they watch the
imagine
script.
you're going to get an equal amount of nerd semen, no matter
That's-
what.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
It's a good thing the screen is white to start with. I'm just saying. All right, we should.
We're on TV now.
We should go
let's
to
go to the
Okay,
next one.
game developer Other Ocean announced this week that it's creating Sharknado, the video game, based off Sci-Fi's upcoming Sharknado 2, the second one. Majesco, thank you, Entertainment is publishing the iOS title, which is an endless runner, Sharknado, the video game. New York City, players controlling Finn to tackle toward at his side as he jumps off the backs of tiger sharks.
Okay, wait. I'm
up, it's
totally
my
sold.
money.
Yes.
This sounds like the best thing ever. When Majesco approached us about making a Sharknado game, we said yes before they even finished asking. Said Other Ocean designer Frank Cifaldi, I don't know.
Close enough.
Yeah. The game we came up with is very much in the spirit of the films. Ridiculous, overblown, yet oddly sincere. We can't wait for the fans to sink their teeth into it. Sci-fi seems set on expanding the Sharknado brand. Not only is an iOS game based off the movie franchise coming soon, but Sharknado merchandise is heading to 1,000 retail stores. We talked about that already. The video game is planned to launch this summer, presumably around the July 30th premiere for Sharknado 2. The Schlockfest sequel stars
Schlock.
Ian Ziering, Tara Reid, Vivica A. Fox, Andy Dick, and wait a second, I had no idea about this one, Billy Ray Cyrus.
I didn't know about that
Billy
one either.
Ray freaking Cyrus.
That's
I'm excited.
that's
Our
two
listeners at home,
nerdgasms
she
this
just
episode.
had
That's
a
pretty cool.
nerdgasm just then.
Yeah, that is like a dual comment. Both of you guys are respecting the nerdgasm. I like it.
She keeps having it. Listeners really need to tune in to see this.
I love Sharknado with my whole heart because camp is my favorite thing ever. I tried to describe Showgirls to somebody today who was like, really? You like Showgirls? I'm like, I don't think you understand. It's just so wonderfully awful. So good. I can't believe Billy Ray Cyrus is going to be in it. Do you guys think he'll sing Angry Breaky Heart?
Well,
Please.
off the back of a giant tiger shark.
Please.
I was trying to
He's
figure
actually the one with the broadsword.
Exactly.
No, and the video game,
If you'll
this
take my
sounds like
broadsword, Mike.
it
Sorry,
sounds like
that was
such a
bad.
fun
That was
video
bad for
game.
me.
I'm down.
I was curious whether Other Ocean was connected to the Ocean publisher in the late 90s, early aughts that did, like, they did a lot of licensed games, but I don't think, I think it may just be a coincidence.
It could be, because, I mean, they're pre-existing. They've been around for a while, I think, so it might be. Anyway, I'm interested. I generally like my camp with spicy mustard, though. So, who's the next story?
I do. Brendan Routh is trading in his blue and red tights for another pair of blue and red tights. EW has confirmed that the Superman Returns star has now booked a recurring role in Arrow's third season as Ray Palmer, the Atom. According to TV Line, Ray Palmer is, quote, an unparalleled scientist and inventor. He is Queen Consolidated's new owner and has mysterious plans for Queen Consolidated's Applied Sciences division. Why is, like, that's also the name of, like, Wayne Enterprises, like, section where Batman gets all of his stories.
Is
It's always
that-
Applied Sciences.
Is that a real section for businesses or something?
I don't know.
Is it?
That's interesting.
It's a cool
He's-
sounding thing.
It is.
I know where I'm going to start sending my resumes.
He's also
I'm gonna
rumored
apply
to be
for some science.
the love interest for the character Felicity, who's one of the main supporting characters in the show. In the comics, Ray Palmer, the Atom, has the power to alter his size and shrink down to subatomic levels. It's not the character's first live-action appearance. He was in the CBS pilot for the TV movie Justice League of America, which bombed. And, of course, you can find the Atom.
It's hilarious, though.
Yeah. You can find the Atom in cartoon versions like the Justice League and Young Justice. The Atom is the second DC Comics hero to join the Arrow in the third season. Previously reported, Devin Aoki has been cast as the classic hero Katana.
I was kind of avoiding this story for a while because I thought, what's the big deal? But it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody's making a huge deal out of this. And I
Well,
don't
you
know.
got Brendan Routh, who honestly I liked in that movie. He was just a crappy movie.
It was a crappy movie. He was great in the movie. But,
But-
I mean, it's not like he hasn't already been demoted to TV. He was a recurring character on Chuck.
Yeah, but I think it's more so Superman is coming back to the DC universe. I think
Yeah.
it's that concept.
Yeah.
And actually earlier today on Flash, the spin-off series, it was announced that they were going to introduce the character Firebrand or Firestar?
Firestar's a Marvel character.
Yeah, it's not Firestar. It's I think it's Firebrand. The one that's like two people merge into like the fire-ish superhero. I'm not as familiar with the character as much.
It's one of those smaller DC characters. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I will say this: have you watched the trailer for Flash?
yeah,
It looks good.
it does look good. And
I
I mean,
I
honestly,
was impressed. I'm like, holy crap! This actually looks like it could be a good show.
yeah, and I'm a fan of Arrow.
There's a lot of good DC TV stuff coming up this
Yeah.
fall,
Well,
so-
I mean, Arrow did not do it for me,
Mhm.
but to be fair, my understanding is by mid-season it picked up.
It did.
I'm getting pretty excited about Gotham the more ads I see.
Mhm.
for it.
Arrow took. I liked it from the get-go, but
I
it took
didn't.
more like mid-season to get more, I guess, superhero-y.
Mhm.
And he's still very much like that dark vigilante throughout the first season. The second season is really where it gets into comic book superhero stuff. where you get
Yeah.
bad guys with super strength, and you get other comic call-outs and other characters from the comics. So the second season, I think, is really strong. I still love Arrow. I'm really looking forward to Flash. I'm kind
It
of
looks
looking
great. It
I'm-
looks great.
kind of looking forward to Gotham, but that one's I'm a bit more
Can I
iffy
tell
on.
you, there's something funny about Gotham, and you know how the little things, when you see the same trailer over and over again, the little things sort of stick out.
Yep.
So I'm watching the trailer for Gotham, and I'm still interested in it, but there's a few things that are weird to me, or one thing in particular. They show all these different characters, right? And everybody looks pretty grounded. They look pretty, like, realistic.
I
Like
guess he
real
doesn't
people.
accept.
And then there's this girl who they keep calling the businesswoman, yet she's dressed like a Battlestar Galactica 1978 reject. She's got this red headband, and it just looks weird. It looks like she's in a superhero costume from the 70s, and then everybody else is dressed really normal. And I'm like, are we about to make a mistake and do something that really is too campy for Fox? That would only work on CW. It won't work on Fox. That stuff like that will get the show canceled.
Yeah.
People will stop watching.
Possibly. And of course, we also have Constantine coming on NBC, I think, later.
And Constantine looks like it's in the supernatural vein.
It does.
The
And
TV show
it
Supernatural.
looks good, though. And Constantine should be in that kind of vein.
Is this based on the comic?
It is based
Yeah.
on the comics.
So it's going to be more of the Hellblazer Constantine and less of the Keanu Reeves Constantine.
I've seen a couple of places where people have seen the pilot already and say that their word is pretty good on Constantine.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
That's
so,
exciting.
yeah, so you're right. There's a lot of DC stuff happening this fall, and we'll probably end up getting to keep a third of it. It's funny. TV news has been really light this past 2 weeks really, and it's because Comic-Con's coming, and
Yeah.
everybody holds out their big news for San Diego. So other than things coming back, like Under the Dome started back, and it started back in a kind of a mediocre
Yeah.
way. It hasn't been as
I
good.
was going to say it started in a mediocre way, like last season kind of ended, and
Yeah.
it was in general.
Now, the one thing that has been surprising is we're down to the season finale of 24.
Mhm.
There hasn't been a bad episode in that season.
I meant to watch
It's
that. I'll have
it's
to
been
catch up
so
with it at some point.
good, and I thought, well, maybe it's because of fanboyism, because I actually like the show from way back. But when you sort of follow it around, it's kind of universal. People are loving this season of 24. It's just fun.
I think a lot of it is also people are glad to see Jack Bauer back.
He's
Well,
such a good character.
Without watching an episode of this, I do have to say I'm a big fan of this model of TV where this is when we want to do a 12-episode miniseries of this show. I think it's a great way to bring back
Well, it works really
those
well.
characters in a meaningful way
Yeah.
instead of just like having some kind of over the top campy reunion show or something like
Yeah.
that. So
And plus, it's hard to do. Just like let's just do a whole new season of 24 because the commitment to do that it's expensive. That's another 24 episodes.
The smart thing they also did was this season of 24 is a standalone.
Yeah.
Literally, they set it up in the first episode. If you haven't watched the show at all, it kind of doesn't matter. They set you up to let you know who he is and what's been happening. And it's a good little. It takes like 2 minutes of the first episode to kind of get you up to
This is
speed.
Jack Bauer. He beats up terrorists.
Exactly.
Here's the show.
He beat up a couple of terrorists too many and had to go into hiding because everybody hated him. That's it. There you go. He's a badass. And then you meet him in person like I did a few years ago, and he's 5'2". Doesn't seem like too much of a badass. Good in the show though. All right, new on Blu-ray this week.
Dwayne's got a story.
Oh, yeah, I'll try to start.
Speaking of new on
Trying
Blu-ray,
to push him out of the show.
Oh yeah.
It's time to get wacky at Pee Wee's Playhouse in Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Shout Factory acquired
There
the
you
rights from Pee Wee Herman himself, Mr. Paul Rubens, last year, and with Rubens' help has digitally remastered the series so that the bright colors of the Playhouse are even brighter and the visual effects even wackier. The 8-disc set, including bonus features, will be released October 21st. This is the first time the entirety of the Emmy Award-winning show, which originally ran from 1986 to 1990, has been available for purchase. Maybe now, if this succeeds, we'll get a Weird Al's show on
Yeah.
Blu-ray.
People love
Is UHF
this
on Blu-ray?
show.
Maybe not. I've got it on DVD.
Yeah,
I picked it up
I've
the
seen it
day
on
it came
DVD.
out on DVD.
What is it?
UHF.
No.
I don't think so. But I think
Well, it's not Justin. That was Justin Film though. It
Yeah,
wasn't
that-
a series, right?
No, but
No,
he had Weird Al had a Saturday morning.
and then I went and built obviously
For a very
it's
little bit of
UHF even on Blu-ray because just to see how unlikely that would probably be.
Right.
Why do we, let's talk about a movie we need a sequel to?
UHF.
UHF.
That would be
And he
amazing.
needs to do it still.
That would be a
Because like the sequence where he does the whole Rambo shtick,
Oh,
it would be
so
funny
cool.
for him to do it again because Sylvester Stallone is still doing those. You know?
That would be the analog to do that today would be difficult because like no one knows what UHF
Well, yeah,
is
but
anymore.
right.
But so
Well, you wouldn't
it would
call it
be-
UHF two. You'd call it something else. Like you
Well,
call it basic
so-
cable.
so
Say
yeah,
LTV
no, it's
or
like-
how to.
Yeah, it's like Weird Al's uncle is
Reality TV.
Oh.
Weird Al's uncle is selling his YouTube channel, and then
Yeah.
Weird Al decides to pick it
Wait,
up.
no, it's
Or-
not even a sequel. They just remake it based on all of
Exactly.
this. The best thing is it would take Victoria Jackson out of local politics. Hopefully.
Yeah, get it
God.
back in the movies. It's kind of like the VHS series. Have you seen those movies? There's two of them out. VHS
Yes.
1 and 2.
Yes.
Well, the new one's called VHS Viral because I think they're taking it from the tapes, which nobody knows of anymore.
I
Hardly.
thought the third one was VHS Viral.
That's what he just
That's
said.
what I said. Yeah.
I think so. The second.
Were you listening to the
No.
news story?
Apparently not.
I said the
Zach.
newest
No.
one.
Were you
You
listening
said,
to the news
I could
story?
have sworn I thought you
He said
VH2.
VHS 1 and 2, and he said the third one specifically.
Exactly. Wake up, sir.
You're like a child who wanders into a movie.
Catherine, would you take care of this situation?
Know your place, Brony.
So Steven, what's new on
I
Blu-ray?
don't want to take.
All right, so if you don't want to
me.
hold out for the Pee Wee Herman situation, you can get the Raid 2 this week.
Buy it.
You can get the Time Machine, which I didn't get a chance to look because the listing only said the Time Machine. I don't know which one. Hopefully it's
It's
the one
the
from
old one.
it's the good one.
Which old one? Like
The 60s.
The 60s one.
Malcolm McDowell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good
That
one.
would be the good one.
You got your Big Mac and your cup of tea, you're good to go.
There you go. Nymphomaniac Volume 1 and 2 is out.
Rent it.
Point Blank is out. Bad Words.
I'd like to see
Here's
that.
the must-buy. There's two must-buys. One of them is Lake Placid Collector's Edition. Love Lake Placid. So good.
Anyway.
It's the movie that has revived Betty White's career. Southern Comfort, which if you're curious, you can see the Blu-ray review up on CultureSmash today. Then Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa .5. That review is also featured on CultureSmash.
Tell us a
So,
little bit about Southern Comfort.
Have you seen Southern Comfort?
I have not.
No.
Okay, Southern Comfort is a Walter Hill movie. He did The Warriors, at 48 Hours. It's his answer to Deliverance, basically. And in fact, on the box art, it says a perfect pairing with Deliverance.
Hmm.
Because basically the story of Southern Comfort is that this has Powers Booth in it, who is awesome in a really campy way. And it also has Keith Carradine, who is like, in that era of time, is the likable version. He's the likable Carradine. David Carradine, I don't care. He's good and stuff. He's just not likable. Then I met him at Dragon Con. Yeah, he is a douchebag, or was. But Keith Carradine and Powers Booth are the lead actors in that movie. And basically, what it is a group of what do you call it? Like the Weekend Warriors, the
National
Guardsmen.
State Guard.
National Guardsmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on training maneuvers in the Louisiana Bayou, and this one group gets separated, and they're just basically trying to find their way home. And it's just stupid, because what starts the whole thing is they come across a creek, and they decide to steal these canoes. And they're canoeing across the creek, and it's a bunch of like Cajun dudes. They've taken their canoes. Well, these guys are just trainees, so they have machine guns, but they have blanks in them. One of them thinks, oh, this would be funny when the Cajun guys come up, and he shoots at them with the blanks. Well, one of them shoots back and blows off Peter Coyote's head. And then all hell breaks loose. So it turns really into the Deliverance thing. It literally is. They're trying to make it out of the bayou in one piece. But it's like the Warriors version of Deliverance. It's campy. It's drive-in.
That sounds pretty good.
It's great. I
watch
gave
this.
it, not to spoil the whole review, you need to go and look at the Blu-ray specs and everything, but I gave the movie 8 out of 10. I just love it.
Okay.
It's a classic Walter Hill movie. It's just entertaining. But what my favorite part of it, though, is they actually went to the trouble of doing some decent bonus features, and there's a documentary, like a making-of documentary, and they got Walter Hill himself to do a Skype call. So they'll show scenes of the movie, and it'll come down in the right-hand corner, a picture of him talking about it. And then they have interviews with Keith Carradine and the rest of the cast. Well, they're talking to the cast, or they start out talking to Walter Hill, and he's like, everybody tries to say this isn't a representation of the effects, our like social commentary on our time we spent in Vietnam. He's like, it's not true, it never was true. Then they cut to every actor saying, this is an analogy for our time in Vietnam. Like every actor and his co-writer say it is. Only Walter Hill says it's not, and
Wow.
and they let it go for like 10 minutes, back and forth, and everybody disagrees with him. It's entertaining. It's fun to watch. So yeah, get that Blu-ray. It's great.
But
All right.
that's
Yeah.
kind of interesting because I think every artist that did anything in the late 70s thought it was a reaction to our involvement in
And
Vietnam.
well, when you watch it, you can kind of tell it is, because there's one point when one of the soldiers is about to get killed by the Cajuns, and it's a pretty powerful moment for a campier type of movie, where he starts to cry. He says, "It was a mistake. I was never supposed to be here." And it turns into this little commentary before the inevitable happens, and you can tell it really is sort of a commentary on that era. There's no way you can really write a movie in your current social situation not have some effect on you, whatever it is. So get the movie, watch it, it's great. Comics?
All right, in comics this week for Marvel, we have Amazing X-Men #9, Daredevil #5, Nightcrawler #4, Spider-Man 2099
You're the
#1.
most anticipated
It's
comic
my
of the
most anticipated book of the week. Peter David's writing it, the one who did Spider-Man 2099.
I'm going to get it and read it as well. I like the costume, it looks cool.
And I had a friend of mine reviewed already, and it was apparently really good.
Yeah.
And
by the way, the comics list on the website
Yeah.
is Nico's. I forgot to put
did you do it again?
Yes.
And
It will be changed later tonight.
United States of Murder Incorporated #3. In DC, we have Constantine #16.
Yep.
Grayson #1, where Dick Grayson has decided not to be a superhero anymore. He's going to be a spy.
Interesting.
Justice League United #3, New Suicide Squad #1, and Superman Wonder Woman 10. On the indie side, we have Abe Sapien 14, Pathfinder City Secrets #3, Star Wars 19, Usagi Yojimbo, Color Special Artist 1.
So I have this to say for comics because I don't usually have a lot to say. I decided to kind of get back into comics, but
Well,
I'm
and you
going
were
a very
doing
cheap
the
route.
yeah.
So I went over to a
didn't catch you,
local
did you?
second skin store and found my first time buying one of these. I got one of the Marvel Essential books,
Oh, those are great.
which I was
Yeah.
thrilled about because the price tag was right. It was like $9 for 20 books.
Holy
It was
crap.
It was
That's
X
a good
Factor.
Oh,
because I love
like
me
the
some X
original
Factor.
set X Factor?
It was that plus like the story where the Avengers story where they find Jean's cocoon
Yeah.
and to make a and all that. So I was really excited. Picked it up, opened it up. It's black and white.
That's
You know,
why it's so
at
cheap.
First, I was like,
Oh yeah,
"Eh."
I don't like that.
But
one.
honestly, you know what? I'm getting what I want out of it. I'm getting the
You
story.
get the story.
And the art's still there. It's not as
It's
pretty
just not
as it would be.
painted, yeah.
That's why the essentials are as cheap. I mean, you had it even more discounted because you bought it secondhand, but yeah,
But
the
they have
essentials.
color ones of the essentials too.
Yeah, but they cost more.
Yeah.
And they're not called the essentials line. They're under
They're
like
called something
premium
else.
lines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
that's why it's essential. It's the basic stuff. The cheap is just to give people the back catalog material.
I didn't know that.
It's really interesting because my roommate has some of the X-Men essentials, and has like the run in which God Love Man Kills takes place during, which isn't like an X-Men book. It's its own miniseries and graphic novel. So, but it's in the middle where it would take place during the Uncanny X-Men run. But because it's a different kind of material made, like the art style, the pages are different because it was straight to color. So instead of being like black and white without the color, it's obviously like photocopied with the color. So it's all gray
Oh,
shading
wow.
and all that stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's very interesting transition to read it. Where I know I just have the book, so I could just read it in color anyway.
But the other thing I picked up that I was really happy about was X-Men Die by the Sword, which is apparently an Excalibur and
Oh, I don't know
Exiles crossover. And I love Excalibur. Like
Yeah.
to me, that was probably what got me into Marvel's mutant books.
Okay.
In
See,
what,
Excalibur's a lot of
so-
fun. I love like Captain Britain and Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler was so much fun.
I
Shadow,
just so
Shadowcat's one of my favorite.
I just barely ever dipped my toe into the mutant books. I'd read the X-Men, primary book, and that's all I ever read.
Excalibur was kind of the wacky take on it.
It really was.
Anything weird tended to happen in Excalibur.
Yeah. Well, I haven't read any of the current books. I'm behind, so I'm going to try and get to it this week because I need to catch up on our favorite book, Original Sin. I'm
Yeah.
behind.
I'm behind that.
And then I'm not always a fan of the sort of reworking of who and what Spider-Man is. But when you set it that far in the future, it kind of makes an excuse for it for me.
Well,
So I probably will give it a shot.
he's not actually in the future. During the
But
spectacular.
he's a future
Yeah,
Spider-Man
he's
who's come back in time.
Yeah, that's right. So it's the same one from 2099 in the 90s. It's that same Spider-Man. And basically what happened is during the Superior Spider-Man run with Doc Ock with Spider-Man, there was some time stuff, and he came to the past to fix something. And he's stuck here. And this book is that story. So it's basically Spider-Man 2099 in the present, when there's already a
How would
Spider-Man.
they figure out in the future you can't go back in time to change?
They never figure that out. They keep forgetting.
Nobody
that.
ever
Split
learns.
universe.
That's wild. It's like they forget that little piece of physics.
It's like
Nobody learns
They
it.
learn the rest of. They remember enough of the physics to build a time machine, but they forget the part about not.
because when they went back and changed it, they forgot that lesson.
Exactly.
And it's that book is the one I'm looking forward to, and I feel like Grayson #1 is going to be a train wreck, but I want to read it just
Is
because.
he going after Tom Daly?
But yeah, the whole idea of Dick Grayson, like, I'm no longer going to be Nightwing. I'm going to go be a spy.
Wouldn't it
And
be better if he was a private dick?
I like.
I
like to keep those situations. private.
DC's promotional campaign, their tagline is, "You think you know Nightwing, but you don't know Dick."
Oh, that's
Okay,
good.
that's good. I'm in support of that.
Yeah, that's really the selling
That's
point of the
pretty
book,
itchy
yeah.
for DC.
It is.
You know, DC tries to keep it pretty clean most of the time.
Yeah.
And then you have a comic for review coming pretty soon.
Yes, I'll have it. I'll read it pretty soon.
You get on that,
It looks interesting.
and then you. Have a
I just
handful
had
of
to
comic
finish
things.
a whole Grant Morrison essay on Grant Morrison's run on Batman.
Yeah, and then you have Irish comics.
I do too, but the Grant Morrison blog, not by Grant Morrison, but of Grant Morrison's run on
Work,
Batman, is been very detailed and took a lot of getting through. But I just finished that
It
one
looked
today,
like
and
it's gonna
review should be here by this next week.
Awesome. All right. Well, this is probably a good place for us to wrap up. Does anybody have anything else to say for themselves before we start wrapping up? Catherine?
Nope.
No.
I can't.
Was it-
Well, I just took. I do have something to say. I just took the what female Marvel superhero are you? And I'm
Dazzler.
Storm. So now
Everybody's
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 So
Storm.
you're like the Nubian goddess.
Yeah,
I
totally
think-
makes sense.
Totally.
Hey, if this weekend's Lebowski Fest, so that's fun.
Oh,
If
so
you
you're
love
going?
movies, yeah, I'm going.
You're going the whole weekend.
Now it's a
right?
commitment.
Yeah. Dang.
If you live near Louisville, Kentucky, and you love the Coen Brothers, you should come out
Yeah,
to Lebowski
it's
Fest.
quite the event. And look at your area if you're not local. There's Lebowski Fest all over the country.
Everywhere.
And they're a fun event. You
Worldwide.
just drink White Russians and bowl all weekend.
Or you can just drink White Russians and bowl all weekend.
Yeah.
And
So
what
you
I
can do that any time of the year, honestly. You should.
Here's what's fun about that convention, though, because people have picked that movie apart piece by piece and come up with costumes based on things that were said. Like, the costumes. This guy who was really, really good at the costuming of that. One year he was the Pope taking a poop in the woods.
Yeah.
And he's been the World of Pain and just all these little things.
Well, the last time I was there was a group dressed like eagles, which was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
They
you
were-
really have to know the movie for some of that. And
They were one woman every year comes dressed as Larry's teacher, whose name just happens to be written like on the paper because it's her class.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Jantos is there every year.
That's
it's a character we don't even ever see in the movie, but it's her
ridiculous.
interpretation.
I love it. All right. So if we want to find you on the internet, we know we're going to be physically. Or where we find you digitally.
You can find me where I don't post on Twitter at drworm75.
Nice. Nico?
You can find me on Twitter, where I do post occasionally, at twitter.com/NicoStream.
Micah Bob?
Find me at Google Plus under Clovis Chitwood and at CultureSmash.tv.
Nice. Yeah. For you. Catherine?
You can find me Google Plus. I don't post there. The only place where I actually post nowadays is Facebook. So yeah, just look for me, Catherine Holder. There you go.
Thanks to
I don't post
Catherine.
anything else.
I was going to say thanks to Catherine's review of Want to Cook, the
Breaking Bad
Breaking
episode
Bad
guide,
episode guide. We're going to have some special guests join the show in a couple of weeks.
which is neat.
This is very cool.
It's really neat.
Zach?
You can find me on Twitter at MrZ91. You can find me on YouTube, Space Mountaineer91. You can find me on the site. I'm working on a review right now. I procrastinate like terribly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I go in phases of like, yeah, review all the time, and then, so
Yeah.
you can check out my new Attack on Titan Blu-ray review that Mike really loves.
If you really want to set Zach off, go to his Attack on Titan review and tell him how much it sucks.
Please don't set Zach off. We're the ones who have to deal with
I
it.
think I know
Wait
what
until he
I'm doing
leaves
tonight.
here to
To
do
be
it.
fair, I like Attack on Titan. He's right on something for once.
I don't know about that. I'm a little concerned for you now. Maybe you need to seek help.
No, it's
Because Steven, you've obviously seen the series.
Obviously I have.
So what happens in
No.
episode 4?
Talk about that later.
Oh, that's the best
I
one.
gave up caring mode. So
okay. Let me rephrase that. Zach is partially right.
Yeah.
He's right that it's a good series. He's wrong on like everything else about it.
What
Okay.
about the Blu-ray video, audio?
I haven't seen the Blu-ray yet, I
He's wrong about everything else.
Yeah.
no, I meant in life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I saw it when it was on Crunchyroll as it was being simulcasted, and it's a really good series.
Okay.
I don't know how they fit.
I have to watch it because now I see Zach is on one end, it's phenomenal. Mike hates it, and you like it, so I feel like I have to go in and share my opinion. So I will watch it.
It is very exposition heavy. I will say that.
I hate that.
But
So
so
that-
you're
that's
you're
points
probably
against
hate
it
that.
already.
Unfortunately, that's
We're starting in the hole here.
Yeah, we're starting in the negative. It can only go up from here. All right, so find me on Twitter at CultureSmash. We've got CultureSmash TV on Facebook. You can join the group there and stay up to date on stuff. Google Plus is the same. Go to our YouTube channel. See Nico's unboxing for the new D&D set and more stuff like that coming. Also, if you're a Stitcher Radio listener, you can find our shows there. You don't have to download them. And Stitcher just established a deal with Android Auto, which is a whole new thing, where Android-based, if I'm getting it correctly, there'll be a story coming tomorrow, but on the site, the Android-based devices that are built into cars are going to have Stitcher on it by default. It's going to be their streaming service. So it's kind of a big thing. So if you are getting a new car and you have that, you can stream us without any hesitation. So.
Good excuse to go buy a new car.
It is. Would you go
Just to
shopping?
get us.
Just to get us. Michael, do you?
How
if
good
you
is
do
your
it.
credit?
Wow.
Pretty sucky.
It's
Oh,
incredible.
we probably,
Michael.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
How good's your credit, Dwayne?
Excellent.
All right, here we go. Scores right. All right, wait. I want to bring Michelle. Did Michelle leave us? Oh, it's too bad. I wanted to let her
gloat a bit more.
Again?
Yeah,
That's okay. She's still got plenty more time to gloat.
she really does. So thank you all for listening to us. Go to our YouTube channel, and if you're an audio listener, you can see the video stream of these shows. Plus, you get all kinds of exciting bonus stuff of us trying desperately to set this show up right before we hit record. It's usually not entertaining, but it's there.
And the unboxing.
I just said that.
You just said that.
I did say
I'm
that.
sorry.
You
I
said
was,
it.
I was in the chat room.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, on that note, thank you, chat room, for hanging with us. It's fun as always. Once in a while, one of us will giggle because of something funny that happened in the chat room. It's hard to not do that because you guys are great. We will see everyone next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Not next week.
Yes, next week.
Oh, yeah.
As far as they're concerned, next week.
Okay.
Said in my
Theater
best
of the
robot
mind.
voice.
Theater of the mind.